Amazing, amazing. So you guys zoomed in. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. Let's see what we're gonna do today, guys. Hi, welcome. I'm Paint with Josh. Nice to see you this evening. I'm gonna show you everything I've done to this canvas so far and everything we're gonna do from here on out. So you'll be able to do it exactly the same as your old friend Paint with Josh. So I have a 22, yes, by 28 inch canvas, right? Long by wide, 22 by 28 inch. And I blacked out this whole area with our Liquitex black gesso and let it dry completely. Because it's acrylic, it dries very fast. Once it came time to paint this painting, I covered the black section in our Bob Ross liquid clear or linseed oil, and then I covered the top section in our Bob Ross liquid white. Right? And the liquid white is gonna stay wet and keep everything looking fantastic and allow all of our colors to blend and move and slide around. Now we're gonna paint one of my favorite scenes ever. It's the Oregon coast scene. We're gonna take a little of our blue, drop it onto the canvas, and because it's got that liquid white, it will blend all the way across. And in fact, you could literally blend down your whole sky in one go. Pop this guy down here. The more we go, a lighter and lighter and lighter touch, and the more it's mixing in with that liquid white, it becomes this very bright, soft little thing. Again, the more that you mix it, the softer and softer and softer it gets. Maybe leave a section that's not so bluey. You know what I mean? It doesn't all have to be the same amount of bluey. Old bluey out there. I always like to drop a little bit, leave a little white section for our clouds. We don't want to get too much of our paint inside our black area, which is why we're leaving it black. We don't want all the color to cover up that area too much, okay? Now, I never like just an all blue sky, so you can get out there with your little bit of black. Actually, let's go a lot of bit of black. Let's go black it along the top. Right? Normally we have a black section below our white clouds, and today I was outside looking and I saw the sky and it was very dark above my bright white section. So I'm gonna have a very dark sky. See that right here. Blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it, blend it. Now, if you have too much paint on your brush, you're gonna have trouble blending it down, right? So before we wash our brush, let's take it itself, and we're gonna cover those sides of our white part of our canvas. And that way they're all bluey and they at least look finished from the edge. Like it wraps around like we actually meant to do that, right? So we'll take our brush and we'll go and wash it. Now remember, if you go to my website, paintwithjosh.com, right? You'll be able to find this painting. It's the very first thing you're going to see, number 1859. I can't believe we painted that many paintings before today. Okay, now again, let's get in here. We're going to start in our lighter area first. Let's mix that blue, mix it, mix it, mix it. You can see again how it wants to grow into the darker area, and just how much that paint will slide is all up to us. Right? We're deciding how much it's going to slide, how much it's going to blend. Maybe we lose our little white patch over here because we're going to put our white clouds down underneath. Anyway, look at that though. Isn't that cool? Isn't that neat? Just the little things you can do. The more that you blend it, back and forth, lighter pressure so we're not dumping on too much darkness. Right, over here doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter much because we're going to drop our big old clouds. Now that's a stormy-ish looking sky out there. You guys looking really, really, really cool. Oh, I like it. It's looking amazing. Now remember, if you're watching over on YouTube, just give me a thumbs up. That's all you need to do. One little thumbs up. It helps so much more than you can imagine. Dropping that little thumbs up and showing people that you like the video. That just tells YouTube to show it to more people, which helps me, right? Now we've got our dark sky out here. Let's take our titanium white onto an old, shabby old fan brush. Not one of the Paint with Josh fan brushes, because those are like real nice and fine detail brushes. This is an old GAC Doctor fan brush. And let's just say we need to have a little bit of our brightness pop up into the dark and then stay underneath it. Now remember, nothing over here matters too much. Depends on how tall you want to go. All we're really doing is just pushing and spreading and trying to deposit the paint off of our brush and onto our canvas. Right? We're going to decide how bright it gets to be, how dark, all that is all up to us. And every time that we do it is another chance to do what? To do it the same Or what? What do you think? Get out there with our 1-inch brush, start mixing it down. Do we do it all the same every time, or is there another chance to do it a bit differently? Mix that guy down, see what he looks like. Already looks really cool in comparison to its other nasty mess. What's up, Scott? TMH is here, everybody. Who else we got over here? Brad Bob's here. Let's see, do you put the liquid white for the clouds to mix with the titanium? You need the liquid white base coat in order for everything to be wet and have everything slide. If the canvas isn't wet, the technique doesn't work. All right. Thank you, Brad Bob. Max Squatch is here. Dylan's here. What's happening, everybody? You guys are looking good. You're looking good. Fabulous. Just fabulous. Looks like Mindy's here. Boom, boom, boom. Came rushing back. Thanks. First time seeing. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Do you have beginner series? We have lots and lots and lots of tutorials over on YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're also streaming over to YouTube as well right now simultaneously. So you can go over to YouTube and re-watch this exact video and learn how to do it. You can always find supplies over on paintwithjosh.com. That's where the supplies list is. Isn't that cool? That real darkness. We can decide how much or which direction we want to blend these guys with our little circles, judging off of our pressure. Say we wanted just a little bit of our blue and black underneath this guy too. All right, we can always blend it out if we don't like it, but a little flat bottom and then work it, work it, work it, work it. Yeah, just like that. Mix it until you like how it looks, right? All up to us every time. Every time we do it, another chance to do it differently. Now, let's also take, while we have that blue on the brush, all of our waves come in and crash out here against our Oregon coast. It's our rocky formation. So underneath that guy, I'm going to blast in a bit of that color just for my trees to mix in with. They need some brightness to mix in. It'll all make sense in a second. So, you guys, how has your week been? It's my Monday. It's your guys' Thursday. Who else's Monday is it? Is anyone else's Monday? Do you have Tuesdays and Wednesdays off like me? Is it your Monday today? Type it in if it is, or if not, what day is it for you in the work week? Don't just be like, it's Thursday. No, I know that. I know it's Thursday because it's my first day of my week and I usually work all weekend long for you guys, right? So, what day is it for you? Type it in the comments. Or when, if you're watching this in the future on YouTube, what day is it? Type it in right now. What day is it for you? Is it it's your Friday? Whoop, whoop. Nice 4-day weekend. It's your Thursday. I feel you. I feel you. It's your Friday today. It's your Saturday today. Today's your Friday. That's wicked cool. Oh, is it because it's Memorial Day weekend, you guys? Is that why you guys are getting off on Friday? Oh, you lazy bums. Get back to work. I'm going to be working all Memorial Day weekend just for you right here live on the show. As long as we can keep selling paintings, right? Speaking of which, this one is available. You can go find it. The mods will tell you how to get there. Or just go to paintwithjosh.com. That's the very first one you're going to see right there. Down into our darkness, wiggling it down, making it look like a weave. Right there, all the way through. And then we're going to decide, right? We don't want to go all the way down with our trees way out there on the ocean. We want to pop up into our little area up here, and let's start deciding maybe right there. Right there, we're going to start popping them in, getting taller. And you're getting shorter, getting taller again. And you're only going to get a couple taps on the brush before it starts fattening out and not becoming sharp anymore. But each time we do this, and the more and more and more we do it, the more it's going to push our little clouds and everything back into the abyss. Right back into Davy Jones' locker. Way back there. All you gotta do, have some of that darkness come down and mix in with some of that light color, just literally tapping it. This is the Paint with Josh fan brush, if you were wondering. It makes the sharpest of all sharp little trees out there in the day. Okay, the night, the day, it's whatever. Not every guy has to be perfectly perfect. It doesn't have to be dark. It doesn't have to, they don't all have to be the same height. You can have some that are taller, some that are shorter, some that come up a little bit more, some that are up here or down there, and fill them in at your leisure. Right? You're in control of what's happening out there and how many little trees that we get to pop out. Excellent. Okay, now let's see. Gonna fill in. I gotta sneeze. It's coming. I can feel it. Look at the light. Look at the light. Now I know you guys are watching. I can't do it. Ah, I lost it. It was under pressure. So the sneeze will come out eventually. It will come out. Okay. Now we're gonna take again a little bit more of our white paint, just a little, maybe one swipe, teeniest, tiniest little bit on there. And we're gonna start mixing it up under here just to see how bright it is. We need it to be about that bright. So let's get one more swipe, just like that, into the very small amount of paint. Come up here and dump it down. Now we've still got a bit of that on here. We wanna be you don't wanna go down below your horizon line, right? Let's just say that. So let's turn the brush on the side. Actually, first thing, let's grab our big 2-inch brush. Let's swipe up on these guys just a little bit. Don't even have to go all the way to the top. Just a little swipe. All it does is flatten them down, push them back into the distance, okay? We're having our very slight little taps down here, so we're kind of tapping up into the darkness and back down into the light. And then the more room that we get, the more we can kind of angle our brush at this downward angle like this. You can hear the change in the sound even. Down, pop it up, right? Not all the time is our mist perfectly flat. I really like that bright area. That's cool. What if we got another little bit? We made a couple more little brighter areas. Ooh, I like it. Remember, you got to have some disconnects in there. Not everything can be all bright and all touching. That's cool. I like it. Okay. Where were we? Oh yeah, about our mist. It doesn't all have to be this straight, diagonal line down. You can have all these crazy things. You get it to go up higher, and you can have it wherever. All it is pushing back our forest, right? Tell me, we got lots of trees in there, and then down into here. We don't want to go too far because our crashing wave is going to come down there. So again, don't really go down past your horizon level, okay? And it can be lighter, it can be darker, it can be whatever. Maybe you want to have it bright there. Maybe you want to take it and mix it up into a little bluish cloud underneath our little guy back here, right? Leaving our one area out there sort of untouched, unhandled. And you can always go back and add this same color and make your rock really stand out. I kind of like it like that, but just to show you, you can always get back in there. Make your little details again, feed back into the lights, getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter, right? And then we can decide, maybe we wanted to have a little touch of our white wiggle down in there, but this is all going to be behind our crashing wave. So don't worry about it too much. That's the main goal. Don't worry about it too stinking much. Right out there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Little things. Even little imperfections are going to look like cool little stuff on the rock. It's really neat. Okay, now let's grab our palette tool. We're going to pull down on our titanium white paint. Again, one of my favorite scenes. Let me tell you what I've done to the bottom of my canvas so far. Initially, we put our black gesso down there, right, in this whole black area. We covered it with our liquid clear once the gesso was dry, right? We covered it with our liquid clear. And then I added a little bit of my blue back here. I'm using the ultramarine blue. You can use Prussian blue or phthalo blue or whatever. Doesn't matter. Just a really dark, transparent blue, right? So we got our dark blue back here. Then we have our phthalo green eye. Then we have a little bit of our dioxazine purple and blue mixed into here, just in this little U-shaped pattern like that. Seriously, that's why I brushed my brush in. Literally, like this. And I kind of turned it up, turned it up, turned it up. And that way we've got that green eye. We've got darkness leading up into it. Then I took phthalo green and put a big stripe. And then my ultramarine blue, and put my blue stripe. And then I added my two brown colors. So our dark sienna and our Van Dyke brown. And that is going to tell you why, when I just used white paint, that we're going to get all these colors to appear, because we've already placed them down onto our canvas. Little teeny tiny amount of paint is all you need. Now what I need you guys to do is check in, tell me where you're watching from, what time is it, right? Or where are you watching from right now? Cosmic Lighthouse over there on the YouTube. Now remember, we have a flat horizon back here, but we don't need our white paint all the way up against the back of it. So let's drop down a little bit. Let's cut in and just start scraping, and we're gonna drop a little bit further. Not too crazy, nothing too nuts, okay? Any amount of white that we can get to break off of that guy and start blending back, right? Not all the way to the back, okay? You don't need it to be pure black, but you don't need your white all the way to the back either. Right? You're deciding what it looks like every time that you go to do it. You can always have little disconnects, and little breaks, and different things that are back there, okay? Now, our wave in this scene starts very early, okay? We know we have our eye. We know we've got about 1 finger's worth of space between the tip of our triangle, which is exactly what it is. It's thicker on this side, and to a point on this side. We're gonna be talking about triangles a lot, okay? So, you gotta make it like that. Now, we need our 1 finger worth of space in between that color and our green color, because we know we're gonna ride along the top. There it goes, it's right there. We're gonna come up, and then, how far do you want to start rolling over? Now remember, you have to cast the water. It's not just straight down. So don't take your palette tool and just go straight down. Aim more for the bottom corner of your canvas. See, if we were to take this, let's say we launched out this water and it would go right down here to the bottom corner of our canvas. That's the angle that I want you to hit. Okay, now don't do too many. It starts looking really cool. And then you're like, oh, neat, we'll just keep going and going and going and going, and then your wave becomes humongously close, okay? Now let's give her like this, only focusing on this angle, which is very kind of diagonal, but very flat. We're gonna rotate it, we're gonna touch here, start launching off, again, now aiming for the side of my canvas over here. So if we were to throw this water, it would go, land over on this side. It's all about the angles, make your point, where they come together just a little bit longer. What I mean is, like that, right? Where it's just like my little birdies when we paint our birds and stuff. And don't get too crazy, okay? We need to come in here and light up our eye, but right here, we're gonna take this guy back. Wiggle it, wiggle it, wiggle it down. Making again, what? What is that black section right there? Can anyone tell me the shape? It's a rough shape, but can anyone tell me the shape of that black section right there that's in between our 2 colors? Is it a circle? Is it a rectangle? Is it an octagon? Are there octonauts out there, guys? Oh, we got triangle, triangular, triangle, right? It's the same. It's basically the same triangle as its wave was back here, okay? And again, what did we do to that triangle? We took a little bit of our extra paint. Came up and kissed the front right here, and we started taking that paint backwards, 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 leaving a little bit of darkness or a dark shadow underneath. Doesn't have to be too big, right? If you can get it real small back there, that'll make them look very far away. Again, doesn't have to all be the same amount of bright. Leave that. Who cares? Who cares? It's a little spot of darkness out there in our waves, right? Now we need to come in here into the eye. The eye of the wave, you guys. The old eye. We're gonna take our fan brush, we're gonna light it up a little bit. Grab a little touch of white. We can always add more paint, right? So we're adding very small amounts to begin with. We're gonna come in here, and again, we left a finger-sized shape in between this color and our eye, and now we need to, again, leave about a finger-sized shape in between that and the brightness. And we're doing it for a reason. And perhaps it'll get a little bit closer over there. That's okay. As it gets over here, we need to leave more and more space because we're going to come in with our brush and slap at the canvas in between these 2 areas. Okay, so there has to be some room for it to not touch. Okay. Now we've got to get in there with a little brush. Start our horizontal little oval drags and just mix up very lightly. And sometimes it over mixes with the darker paint, right? And so you need to go back in there and make it a bit brighter. Well, all we need to do is grab a bit of our white onto our brush, come back in here, a little bit brighter. Doesn't even have to be the same everywhere. If we can have different bits of color and brightness and darkness, even in the eye of your wave. You see how it tries to grow? This is why we leave that space in between, because this brush really wants it to grow sometimes. See the brightness up underneath there? Woo, baby, don't touch it too much. Woo, woo. I like it. I like it a lot, you guys. Okay, now imagine our water's casting down. This one's going down to our bottom corner. This one's going over to our edge. And whatever we do, we don't want to have these guys touch, right? Gotta have that little dark separation in there. Nothing crazy, but you gotta have it. Now, what we're going to be doing is using our liquid white paint. Okay, the liquid white is our base coat for our top section, and it makes it very, what is that? I couldn't even see up here. There's like a gap, like a hole in my cloud. There we go. That's the best part about oils too, how you can go back and fix different things. Push on it a bit harder, make it disappear, blend it away, and it's still wet enough for it to work because of the oil paints, right? So again, the liquid white is our base coat. It's very wet and runny compared to titanium white oil paint that we're using here, okay? Now, what we need to do is mix the two together right on the brush, using about 2 or 3 swipes of our titanium white to whatever size your pile is over here. You need it to just be sloppier, right? We're gonna get that onto our brush. Turn it over this way, okay? We need to come above, right? We're gonna be riding on top of our white line here and then cut through underneath, right? So oh, it came back. It came back. It came back, guys. Are we all right over there on YouTube, anybody? Can everyone see? Okay, like I said, we're gonna be riding along the top edge of this guy, and then right when we get up here where it's the highest splash, we immediately have to cut down underneath this, right? This whole thing right here is all gonna be mushed on, even that much of it, right? So you don't have to worry about all that paint. You don't wanna paint too much. So here we go. And with our liquid white, tapping, 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 very small little things, right? The more we get in here, we want them to look different. Boom, boom, right up there on the top. So they got a little bit taller, a little bit crazier up there. And then we have to dip down, not touching these two areas together either, okay? So as you come in here, and you got your little taps, 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 and taps. Now, how far down does your water come down and hit? Push! How far do you come up into your area? How much are you allowing to show? Right? How much of this guy is rolling and smashing, about to come down and hit? That's all up to us every time. And then we're gonna allow it to go up into and above our water, up into the mist, filling in some spaces underneath until we're just about flat along the bottom side, right? Now you can see up here, not everything is all exactly the same. Do you think that's helpful, or is that gonna hurt us if it's not all the same when we go to blend it out? What do you think? Helpful, or is it not so helpful? So just type in helpful or not so. You tell me what we're looking like. Is it working over on YouTube? Cosmics, I'm guessing yes. I'm thinking yes. Helpful, right. It's gonna be helpful that it's different, right? Because when we come in here and mix it, it's going to look different in different places, right? If we just come in just a littlest touch, so soft, so small, right? Mixing, because the liquid white is a very wet paint, it's going to want to grow a really long way. Watch this, how far can you get it to extend? Getting softer and softer and softer as it gets over this way. Boom. Is that not amazing? Does that not look like water? Because we're gonna do it a second time. So don't worry, even if it doesn't look like water yet, we're gonna do it a second time. But let's just pop in, just so we know now where not to go down from, okay? So we'll come in here with that same liquidy white, messy stuff. Always titanium white when you're furthest away, liquid white when you're closest up. And let's say we know we have to work at this downward angle, and we know we needed to give it some room. So let's drop down about an inch, start cutting it back, getting lower, and lower, and lower, and lower as we go. This will be our wave rotating. See how we got lower? You have to get lower. And you can see we're almost 2-finger distance between this guy, because you have to have that, you gotta have to have room in order for the water to go back on a flat line like that before it rotates up into our wave. So some of the times we don't leave enough space is our problem, okay? Now, here's a very easy, simple way to do it. Just with that same liquidy mess, drop a little bit up here, a little bit more than you think you might need, okay? So basically, we're just mushing it on from this little spot down here. We're working it down and down and down. And we don't need so much over here because we need it to be brighter here and get darker as it goes away, okay? So we can even take our same brush that we had before, right? The same old brush. I wiped it off, scrubbed it off real good on a paper towel. Okay, cool. 3 thumbs up. Okay, that's what I thought. I couldn't tell. So we take our brush. All I did was scrub it off on a paper towel like this. A lot of times, and you can see it takes off a lot of color. There's not a lot of paint getting dropped off there. Right? And what we can do with this guy is kind of grab it from the front, very light and very flat. Right? You have to go back before you roll up. Okay, then we can make it as bright or as dull as we want it to be. All depends on us. Every time. We see how it's going backwards, and we haven't even started yet. So if we were to start here and just go at a diagonal, that's going to be no good, guys. Gotta go back. Taking some, there was an extra bright spot right there, so I just kind of worked it back this way to keep that area as bright. Back, 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 back. Now, as we come back in here, then we can start our little rolling action and then getting wider and wider and wider as it gets out this way. And all of a sudden, you just made a cool little wave, you guys. Just a neat little wave in there. Right? We haven't even detailed it or anything. So let's take a little bit more of our liquid white and our titanium white just to keep it bright and flowing off. We need the front edge of our wave to be the brightest. Right? So if anything, we can pull down this way. It's all that foamy stuff. And then you have the shadow of your wall of water, right? So how far up does your stuff roll up into your wave, right? That's all up to you guys. Which direction? What's the angle that yours is rolling up there? Again, totally up to you. And every time you do it, maybe you streak up a little bit more. Maybe you curl it in a bit more as you get into the eye, right? You are in control, my friends. Very diagonal as you get over to the side. And that just shows that this is flat, right? And then it's going and getting rolled up upon. That's looking really cool. Now we can take some of that wet paint and extend this guy down a bit further. Just so he's got a little flat area back in here. Right? And we can extend it, or we can brighten it, or we can do whatever we want to do, my friends. This one's looking cool. Looking cool. Again, just trying to have sort of a straight line down here. And then we decide where the bright areas are, how dark it is, all that stuff. It's all up to us every time, literally. Very cool looking water. Now, let's go back. We're gonna get a little bit more of our liquid white, like we did on the first one. We're gonna mix it down into our titanium white, right there on the brush, just so we have this really wet, nasty, super stuff. Okay? Out here again, we're gonna come out here a little bit further this time. Little taps, little taps, little taps. This is a much closer in version than what we normally do. Bang! So we got a little bit taller up there. Start throwing that water off. You don't want to get too crazily tall. But now it's brighter than it was before, and we're going to do less things, meaning we're going to smack it less. We're going not to fill it all in the same exact thing. And then when we come back, we're going to brush it out less. Bang, there. Little things, okay? Little differences. Now, why do we leave the differences? Anybody? Why do we leave all these little separators and all these little different things in there? Why do we leave them? Because when we mix, are they all gonna just stay right there, or are we gonna leave them room to grow, right? What's gonna happen? Thanks, Morgan, appreciate you. Put a Megalodon in the wave, that'd be cool. That would be cool. Right? I mean, depth, yeah. We use Bob Ross brand paints, Winsor & Newton brand, Gamblin 1980 brand, and Meaden brand paints, along with some others. We use glow-in-the-dark paints by Shara Schneider. You see how we mix this up a little bit less? Not everything needs to be so mixed exactly the same. Right? So sometimes maybe we miss a whole area, come over here, we'll spread out this side on the back a little bit. But in any case, none of these things are mixed to the exact same thing, right? Then we can decide, again, how big, how crazy, how it's hitting, how far it's rolling out, how far down does it come, or vice versa. How far up does our brightness come up there? Bing, bang, boom. Remember, you have to have an area to slide back before you rotate, okay? Very cool, guys. Remember, you're gonna have to start coming up with a title for this, because when it comes down to it, if somebody purchases this one, then they get to pick the title forever, right? Whatever it is, they get to choose the name because they got it during the live show, right? But if not, then we all have to, as a group, come up with a title. So start thinking of something, and by the time we get there, maybe you will have thought of something. Now I'm going to take my liner brush, my odorless mineral spirit, so I dipped into my brush cleaner with a clean, dry liner brush, just so I could get a bit of that odorless mineral spirits onto my liner brush, down into my dioxazine purple. You can see it's very thin, it's like watercolor. And now you have to think about a circle, right here. These guys are going up into a circle, 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 right? So whatever happens, they have to sort of kind of line up at the top, right? So we're gonna imagine touching it over here, but ending over there. And you can always go back through. Cut your little guy back in. You can always go back through and blend that little thing away almost instantly. So don't worry about what it looks like, but I'm trying to line up with our little guys over there. Maybe if you don't make the noise, it doesn't work for sure. Just dip it down. All crazily like, right? Just a couple little veins in the eye. These guys, see how they're more angled out this way, so my lines have to then change. They can't all be all crazily and coming from the same spot. Maybe there's a bigger break off of this dude. All depends on us, guys. Literally, how many little things do you want to have going up into the eye of the wave? And then you just come back in here and just very lightly get rid of those little guys. Oh man, that's cool. That's cool looking, you guys. Okay, now you can always do the same thing with a bit of your brightness, so your liquidy white paint. Just kind of roll them up into these little guys, right? I'm not trying to connect everyone exactly the same, but dipping them in here, and then you go back and you just kind of blend these ones out to your liking, right? However you want. So if you want them to flow up and then all of a sudden be able to see a little bit more and roll up into it, or do you want to get rid of them all the way up to the top and just leave the littlest thing, right? All it is telling our brain that you got some foam flying up here, and then it gets underneath the shadow of the wave, which is why it turns into that darker color. You can even, just to make these guys look a little softer and not so much like tree roots, just go over them a little bit. That's all you need is a little bit. Very cool. Now, let's take our liquid white mix, and we're gonna make some sandiness. Some really cool stuff. Let's get that purple out of there. Get it out of there. I'm gonna grab a little bit more of my liquid white and plop it down here. I'm gonna grab about a little bit of my titanium white. I usually do whatever the size of my liquid white pile is. I think about it like, okay, that's 90%. And then I'm gonna do a little 10% of my titanium white. And all it does is just kind of bind it together a little bit. Just a little binding agent like flour or whatever. So it's not so drippy. And then we're gonna come down here and I'm gonna ask you 3 times if this looks like sandy beach. Right, so let me finish what I'm doing here. or at least some water retraction area or something. Now, it all depends on how much paint you put up here, how much is going to drag down. So if you put a lot of paint up here, it's going to be very bright and it's going to want to drag down a whole lot. You can see it lighting up the teal color, right? Because we'll go blue, teal, blue, teal. But you see what I mean? These are layers down in here, over here. All depends. We've got lots of room up there to pull, but we need it to maintain that angle. Right? So don't put too much paint out there. Now, I'm going to ask you, does this look like sand? Just yes or no. Be honest with me. Let me know in the comments. Does it look like sand or not? I'm assuming you're all saying or not, right? But just tell me now, do you think that looks like sand? We got no, we got kind of. I feel you. Very blocky. It's Minecraft sand, right? Okay, now let me do this. What if we did this? What if we come up here and we grab all these things? Now, does this look like wet, sandy beach? Let me know in the comments below. Be honest with me. You can be honest. All right, we're sliding it down and down and down. Does that look like wet, sandy beach? If not, tell me what it looks like. What do you think it looks like? Tell me now. And I'm going to ask you one more time. One more time. So let's see. Let's see. All right, looks like Northern Lights. We got waterfall, glacier, waterfall, 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 waterfall. I feel you. Now, all you guys that just answered me, when you see this video posted, please answer me again. When you see it and it says, does this look like sand? Answer me and say, no, it looks like a waterfall or whatever. But what if we did this and we turned all these vertical streaky poos into horizontal streaky poos and we drag it out without trying to touch our water? Now, doesn't that look much more like wet sand? And remember, we put that brown down around the bottom so we can start blending it in. Blending it, bringing the light down, getting some of the dark brown on our brush and working it back up. And doesn't that look much more like wet, sandy beach than it did before? What do you think? Looking good. Okay, maybe now. Right, so the next time you guys see one of my videos where it says, does this look like sand? Please interact with me and comment. That's the only reason why that one video got to 10.9 million views on TikTok. 10.9 million views in less than a month, right? The same thing over on Instagram got to 9 point something million views in about 2.5 weeks, right? So that's the only reason videos go viral, you guys, is if you guys comment on them, right? So whenever you see a video of mine and it says, does this look like sand? Be prepared for some witchcraft and wizardy type of stuff that's about to blow your mind. And interact with me. It makes it more fun. Plus, it makes the video get more views, which just means I can reach more people and teach more people for free, right? By the more people that look at the video. So maybe you came here from maybe watching one of the viral videos or whatever. We've got a couple out there going crazy. And all I'm doing here is just kind of scraping side to side, literally. Just scraping it, scraping it, scraping it, filling in different places, dropping off little weird little things or spots or whatever, because it doesn't all have to be the same. That's the best part about doing the ocean. You can make it weird. And when you make it weird, it looks right. Just don't make it the same amount of weird everywhere. And we start climbing up with our weird over here a little bit more. Just little different things, right? The more you climb up the side, the more your angle changes. So by the time we get in here, maybe we start really rotating up. Gotta have enough paint on your little scrapey tool in order to have it fall. Oh, that's amazing. And this is exactly why you have to have that room to go back before rotating, right? This is what those are, just underneath the shadows, my friends. Again, very light and just be weird with it. Don't put on too many. Man, if that's not the best Oregon seascape I've ever done. You show me a different one that's better. Look at that. Dudes. Oh, look at the rotation. The rotation is where it's at. Bring it out here. Got to drop on because there's nothing else beyond a wave in this one. So you really have to have every place looking perfectly out there. Just skirting our little light color right over the top of the sand. Don't let this go down, right? You don't want it to be an arc. You want it to be this slow, gradual downward motion like that. And then you guys can literally do anything. You can take on the world, baby. So stinking cool, my friends. Is this a sweet treat? Is because it looks like a sweet treat. Oh, it smells like a sweet treat. Okay, now we need to come out here with a little bit more of our liquid white. Little touch. Okay, plop it down here, and then we'll make our little foamy retraction area. Okay. Is this a sweet treat? Have you guys not seen that video? Is that not all over your FYP? Because all it is for me is it's either horses where they're like eating like a Pop-Tart or a Twinkie or something. Yeah, or it's like moms looking at a glass of wine going, is this a sweet treat? It's just, I don't know. For me, that's all that's on my FYP. It's so funny. Okay, a little bit more of my liquid white, a little bit more of my titanium white. So we'll make that same kind of 90-10 mix. All right, because it looks like a sweet treat. We'll get over here. And we're going to make the same downward sort of diagonal line, right? But it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to match perfectly. And what we kind of want to do is save a little bit of this darker, lighter color, right? So if we came through there, almost cutting halfway through it and saving a bit of that underneath, it'll just look so much better. Come here, watch this. Just watch. Open your eyes. Open your eyes up and just watch the magic happen. Okay, we'll start up here. A little closer, lots of pressure, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. Now you can kind of go straight and then drop down and then straight. And that way you're not making these wavy things, but you are making these wavy things, right? We're not turning the angle of our blade, of our palette scrapey tool at all. We're just, we're deciding how far in or how far back that we're placing it. That we're going into our waves. So say we came out a little bit further out here, and if you're just depositing that stuff and you save a little bit of this color underneath, oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Drop down again. Bang, dropping these little things off. Now doesn't that just remind you of being down at the coast? If not, then get off my channel. No, just kidding. If not, that's okay. But look at that, isn't that amazing? Guys. It's amazing. Now, you are in control of what this looks like down here, right? Do you want a bit more? You want it to be thicker, and you can see by how hard we're pushing on this tool that it's forcing the paint to fall out of the back in this little ridge. And that little ridge looks like water, right? Or foam, or whatever. Very cool. Always deposit a little bit of it right up there, and I'll show you why. We're gonna take our little fan brush. And again, we're kind of looking at our ocean and deciding which way, because it's not all flowing flat, right? Not all of it is flowing flat anyway. We're picking from different angles. So this is what happens. You're starting out here, very flat, very horizontal little draggy poos, okay? And then the more that you get in, right, you can decide how far back do you want to pull them, okay? Do you want it to be really bright and you want to have a lot of sheen, right? You're in control. Okay? So as you pull it back this way, this way, this way. Now, here's where you're going to make a decision. Do you want to continue pulling sideways, which really isn't going to give us any fancy look over here? Or do we want to treat it like the side of a clock? Now that we're right underneath where our wave is rotated, okay, let's imagine this being the center of our clock over here. So we're over here. Now we're going to want to change the angles of our directional pulls. So we can start getting in a little bit this way, this way, this way. See how that different kind of a drag, a different angle. So instead of being horizontal, we're now angling it up this way, and how it looks like it's pulling it a different way, or it makes it look a little bit more 3D. And the more you get over to the side, the more kind of vertical you're pulling on it. Isn't that cool? Guys, tell me that's not the coolest thing you've ever seen. Okay, now, here's my favoritist part of the whole smash. First things first. This is what we need to do in order to make our sand look like sand. We're gonna take some of this liquidy white, very wet paint, the same stuff that we're gonna come up here and flick onto our watery, oceany spray. We're gonna back up away from our canvas and just start flicking them out, right? The more that you do, the little teeny tiny ones that you do, okay, the more they're gonna look like little seashells and stuff in your sand. Now, the more that you throw out there, the brighter and brighter and brighter your sand is gonna become. Isn't that the coolest thing? And then we can control where we wanna have these little flicks, what we want our sand to look like. Isn't that literally the coolest thing you've ever seen? Isn't it amazing? This is not an act, you guys. I get literally so excited when it starts looking good because you never know what the paint's gonna do that day. You never know what your angle's gonna be like until you do it. You never know what your water's gonna look like until you do it. And so when you do it and it becomes awesome, you're like, it's just the coolest thing ever. And so I get excited, I'm sorry. Now, we're going to clean off our bigger brush because I want bigger sprays. I want more action than this up in my water. So let's clean off our brush real quick. I can't believe you guys have not gone over to paintwithjosh.com and grabbed this painting, honestly. It comes with a free spin on the spinny winny wheel. And if you grab it during the live show, you get to pick its name. Right? You get to title it. There we go. Ooh, that's a lot. Let's be gentle. I might drop some of this off on my palette too. There we go. So we've got a little touch of our paint out there. And what we're gonna do is start to flick it off of this tool and onto our canvas. Now, sometimes you have to turn and kind of get in the way. I try to stay out of your guys' way. But as we flick it, you see how it starts blasting the paint. It's throwing it onto our canvas, it's throwing it everywhere. Right? We're launching it all up to us every time what it looks like. All depends on how much paint is on our tool, right? How much force that you're flicking off of that guy. You see we're turning, we're throwing it out to the side. We don't want everything to look exactly the same. So we always go back. There's always a little bit different amount of paint onto our tool or our brush. And we start with our eyes judging and looking and seeing how many more little spray bits are necessary in your scene, right? How many more are coming off of this thing, right? Isn't it amazing? And you're in control. I said you're in again. You are in control with how bright a spot gets, how dark, how everything. It's all up to you. And every time you do it, you can do it a little bit different. That's the fun about how we paint, right? Every time. It'll look a little differently. It's gonna take a little bit longer to dry, a little bit less longer. You're gonna have more details, less details. You're gonna see something cooler than you did the first time and go, ooh, what if it looked like this now? And you're gonna try that and it's gonna be awesome. You just have to do it. You just gotta get out there and try it. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's all you gotta do. Now watch, I don't like that spray back here. And I think we can save it, okay? Let's get in here with our small, because that came off of the thing at a different angle. If I blend this in back here with just my fan brush, because it's gonna blend in with our darker color back there and look sort of like our foggy mist. We're gonna get right down on top, almost on top of that wave, just a little bit of dark separator in between. And then, because it's liquid white and it mixes away so easily, I could leave it literally just like that. You could literally leave it just like so, my friends. So remember, head over to Paint with Josh. There's already 7 people over there right now, according to the site. And if you want it, you gotta get there first. Oh, that's it right there. Oh, I can hear it coming down, you guys. Boosh! Look at it. It's amazing. Literally amazing. Pow. Throwing off all these little sprays that's probably literally the best one I've ever done. And if you want the best, now there's 10 people over on the website looking at it. If you want the best one, you gotta be there quick. Because if you're not there fast, there's only one, and once it goes, it's gone forever. So head over to paintwithjosh.com. Now start coming up with a title. I need your guys' help. Right? If you don't want it, and you're not gonna go over to the website, then tell me what to title it. We need a title. So what should we title it? This is literally a real place. It's called Heceta Head Bay down there in Oregon, right underneath the lighthouse. So it's a legit real place, but I want you to give me a title for it. What do you think we should name it? What would you call it? Crashers off the Oregon coast or something like, just give me a title. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna start cleaning off the brushes. We gotta add our signature, of course. Gotta pop in the old signature. So we'll take our odorless mineral spirits into our plaque mix. Very dark. A little bit more because these birds, they have to come off the brush easily, and they won't if the paint isn't wet enough. So, come out here into our sky. Try to stay out of your guys' way as we do these and just go caw-caw. Just a little old bird shape, remember? Not all the birds are going to be flapping at the same amount of time, or not all of their wings are going to be at the same angle when you go to do yours. So paint them a little differently, and that looks pretty cute. Yeah, it looks pretty cute. Like my one bird in the center, though. Gotta extend this one a little bit. There we go. Get that right there at the bottom. Boom, you guys, that's cool. That's the one. That's the one. I like it. Okay, I'm going to throw on my signature. Remember, if you want to get it, you got to go and check it out. It's a one of a kind. It's probably the best one I've ever done. Down here on the coast, we're going to plop in our little old signature down here. Just a little old guy. Just a little old doer. Like that. Boom, boom, boom. Right down here. Gorgeous. Guys. It's gorgeous. So like I said, if you want to title it, if you've got the best title, and you purchase it during the live show, you get to pick the title. So, if not, let me know what you want to call this one. And I'm going to start washing off some of the brushes that we've used today, but let me know what you want to call this one. Man, I can feel it's all over me. I can feel it. I can feel the ocean spray out there. Winter spray, I like that majestic blue. Crashing sapphires. The one Cosmic found, Mac. That rock was back off screen back here a little bit. Majestic waters. Wave of deceit. I'm gonna put a Megalodon in there. I wish I could. Crashing beauty. Cosmic's like, hey, don't talk about the rock, Mackie. Splash Symphony. So price you can go check out on paintwithjosh.com. That's the website. It's right there. When you first get there, you're not going to see this because we painted it live. We didn't know what it was going to look like, and we haven't taken a photo of it yet, right? So it won't look like this. It'll just look like a golden framed thumbnail of me. Number 1859. No, 1859, excuse me, number 1859. That's this painting right here. So, it's the very first thing that you run into when you get over to the site. All you gotta do is look at it. Oh my, did we sell it? Let's see. Oh no, we got a sale for a class though. That's gonna be cool. Brenda's coming back for a class. Wicked. Wicked cool, yeah. Wicked cool. Clean off these brushes real fast. So keep coming up with titles. And we'll see if this one does get purchased, and maybe they choose your title. You never know. Is this a paint on it? I could swear one of these just dipped into that paint pile. There we go. So Brenda's gonna come back and take a class. That'll be fun. Always a good time when Brenda comes down to the studio. So if you're watching, Brenda, thank you for the class purchase. I appreciate it. Alright, 2 more brushes, guys. Won't take me very long. They're just fan brushes, so don't worry. Keep typing in your comments. Keep typing them out. I can't believe this one hasn't sold yet. This is literally the best wave I've ever done. The best sand, the best wave, the best retraction, everything. Literally level up moment right there. Came out so simply and so easily. All right, let's pick a title. If anybody wanted it, they would have grabbed it by now. Ocean Spray, Pura Vida, I like that. Opal Island, I dig that. Shockwave, I like that too. Travis, that's a cool title. Shockwave. What's the name of the thinner? I use one by a brand called Clean Strip. Klean Strip. Clean Strip is the name. Green Landings, I like that. Ocean Spritz, I love that word, spritz. Just a little spritz, give me a little spritz of it. Best wave, yes, I agree. Probably the best one I've ever done. And it looks amazing over on YouTube too, so that's cool. The Ocean's Raw Dog Randy. Liquid white and liquid clear are needed 1,000,000%, okay? Liquid white is the base coat that wets down our canvas on the top. Liquid clear is very much like linseed oil. You can use linseed oil across a white portion of your canvas, or you can use linseed oil on a white canvas. You'll just have to mix more on your palette as far as colors before you put it up there. Because the liquid white is on here, we're taking a dark blue and we're mixing it with white. With every brush stroke, it's getting mixed with white, which helps the blue lighten up, meaning we don't have to do anything. We can take it straight from the pile, put it up there, and get 10 or 12 different colors of blue because of that liquid white. So no, it's not necessary. Yes, it helps 1,000,000%, right? You could do a white canvas painting with just a linseed oil or a liquid clear base, but I don't recommend it. I would recommend getting the liquid white and then the liquid clear. The liquid clear is for the black canvases or the black section of your canvas. The liquid white is only for white canvases or only the white sections of your canvas. Very cool, guys. This one is coming out too good. Plus, you get a free spin on the Spinny Winnie wheel and the gift that comes along with it if you get it during the live show. What more incentive could you ask for? Plus, this is seriously probably the best one. Actually, nobody get it because I want to keep it. Someone take it out of the store. It's my best wave, and I want to sit and look at it at least for a while before someone grabs it. So I'm going to remove it, in fact. So if nobody gets it in this show, it will not be in the website anymore because I'm seriously, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to keep it for my own self. So if you get it, right, before that, that's my goal. Of course, I want you to get it. But just saying, if nobody gets it, I won't be upset because this one is amazing. Amazing, you guys. Uh-oh, what's that? Oh my goodness, friends. Hey! Ho, baby. Hey, this one just found a new home. Bye-bye. So, man, God, it looks so good from back here, guys. It looks so good. Oh my goodness. Thank you for grabbing this painting during the live show. You're amazing. And all I need is to confirm who you are. So, if you could let us know, and then you get to choose the title, in fact. That's gonna be cool, guys. Shock Mist. Dude, Shockwave was the coolest title I've heard in a while. And why have I not thought about that? It wasn't me, says Travis. Who are you? Come forth. If you did purchase this one, come forth in the comments. I like this watery droplet, but it's like, it was a vertical droplet versus a horizontal droplet. So I'm just gonna take that guy like that. Never even knew he was there. Never even knew it, guys. Michael, all right, Michael. I mean, that's almost proof enough for me, Michael, but just give me the last 2 digits of your zip code, right? So for me, mine would be 02, right? So what's the last 2 of your zip code? And I'll double check that it is in fact you, and that way we'll make sure that we actually have the correct person, even though you knew the first name. That's it. That's it, Michael. So I'm just going to call you Michael. Exerotic. How do you even say that? Now, Michael, it is up to you now to pick a title. Okay, you got to have a title for this thing. We need to write something on the back of it, right? And all these people that are watching are blasting the comments section with titles right now, guys. Hit it with titles, right? Title. And then Michael gets to pick from any one of those titles or come up with his own and then tell me what to put on the back. I'm going to spin the painting around and write it on the back. And we'll be all set. And I've got my marker right here. No, I would never. This one is too gorgeous. Michael, you literally got one of my absolute best waves of all time, in my own opinion. Because, gosh, that's amazing. Look at it. I can hear it. Shockwave, one of my favorites, right? That would be, for me, that would be in the lead. Shockwave for me would be number. Thank you for the hearts, Kimberly. I appreciate you. I can't do, I'm gonna get over here and try to do it. It's rare that I ever get back behind the camera. And in fact, since this one's sold already, why don't we do this? And then I can just flip you guys around. Sorry. Get motion sickness, everybody. Flip you guys around and put you over here. And then I can read the comments. Shockwave, that's a cool title. I dig it. My friends. Guys, I'm getting so excited to go teach classes at the end of the month up there in Yakima, Washington, or Sella, Washington. If you're in the Sella area of Washington, I'll be teaching classes up there on the 30th, the 31st, and June 1st. So, 3 days, a weekend worth of classes up there in Yakima or Sella, Washington. They're both very close together. But if you want to check out details on that, please go to happily.painted.com. Right? So whatever you like, I've got 3 classes that I'll be teaching up there, 1 per day. And we supply all the supplies. Everything's all set up and ready for you to go as soon as you get there. But we've already sold like 17 tickets or something like that. So there's still room for more if you want to come down and see me in Yakima. I'll be there at the end of the month. Now let's throw this guy on. Over there. This one's number 1859. And we're calling it Shockwave. That's cool. Shockwave. I like it. 5/22/2024. We're all going to go to paintwithjosh.com because it's the best place ever, right? I mean, come on. Okay, TikTok might be better, but paintwithjosh.com is definitely in my top 5. Look at the size of this painting, by the way. This is no small canvas, my friends. This is a kraken of a seascape, just a monster. God, I love it. It came out way too good. Just way too good. Greatest painting I've ever seen. Me too. It's the greatest one I've ever done. And I was honestly going to take it out of my store right before this. But everybody over on YouTube, I cannot wait to see your guys' versions of this painting. I know y'all go back and you watch it and you paint them. Send them in to me. I want to see them. Send them to Instagram, which is @paintwithjosh, and then K, because we have to use my real name over there on Instagram. So paintwithjoshk, or if you send it to me on Facebook, send it to @officialpaintwithjosh. And then you know you got the real one, right? So until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day, and bye.